I'm intrigued by the period, first of all. So the industrial modern period and just post-World War I seemed to be not only a great period for fashion, for cars, for the industrial modern period, but also for jewelry. So it was kind of a split in the Vienna Secessionist period, where you had Charles Rennie Mackintosh and Joseph Hoffman building very angular geometric. So it was a split from that nouveau organic feel. I fell in love with the symmetry, so I really liked the deco period. And leading up to the retro, deco was really a long-lasting period, going from about 1917 to about 1938. And the retro period was a retrospective, a look backward on the deco. And in the two periods, even though the retro period was made to look back at it, was a lot more flamboyant and overstated than deco. Seemed to be a little more reserved. But I'm intrigued by both periods and the differences in the periods. I like the geometry and the symmetry, and I like the idea of working with the gem in particular. So there was pronouncement on both the metal work as well as the gem work. The gem was part of the palette, and the metal work was more pronounced, but the gem was basically the color of the palette that was being used. So there was a lot of creativity with color and with the way the stones were cut, the gems were cut, and the way they were fashioned inside the metal. Still a pronouncement on the metal work, not as much of a pronouncement on the gems other than the color of the palette. And so to me, it still was very much art and not pedestrian or commercial. You take a look at some of the deco that you're going to see, you can look and see that the metal is engraved, and the way the stones set inside almost make the metal look like it's been paved. So while you do see the stones, the metal work behind the scenes was really the art, and those who actually purchase or acquire anything deco actually look at the underside of it as much as they look on the top view down. So beautifully finished inside and out, the way the metal was played with, the techniques that were used with what they call thrumming, which is polishing inside underneath where you can't see the results. I mean, it's not visible to the naked eye. You have to turn it over, or not visible to the front side anyway. And the way they opened up the back to allow the light to play with the gem was really an understanding of what gems needed. Up to that point, gems were buried inside of metal. And so there's now a play between both metalwork and the artist's hand and the choice of a more expensive color palette, which was rubies, emeralds, sapphires, diamonds, and then some not so expensive like amethyst or other quartz material.